This is Daho. He's been having some problems lately as he keeps dreaming about girls. Now, I don't blame him since he lives in a household where the rock can't help but activate Harden. But here's the thing, man, he's the dumbest 20-year-old around. Long story short, he lives with an older sister that looks like an expert at banana tree seed extraction, but they aren't blood-related as this family took him in. Anyways, the older sister is named Mia, but she looks like a prime member candidate to have some weird sussy feelings for our boy. Apparently, the two are very close to each other, so she follows him around to go get breakfast, only to get greeted by the sight of a big whopper from the mother of the house. Now the crazy thing is that the mom married a bro straight looking like a 4 out of 10, but that's the usual in all anime, as there is always a goddess ending up with some dude looking like a super nerd combined with my precious from Lord of the Rings. Regardless, I have a weird feeling about the mom, but we learn that her name is Yune, and she's actually super nice and friendly to our boy. But she do be looking like half her age, cause Asian dunt raisin. Yume is also the sole reason why both his sisters got some crazy proportions in relation to their rice cakes and pumpkins, because they all packing on purpose like my boy John Morant. Nevertheless, Yume asks Daho to go check up on his other sister, named Suwa, as it's time for breakfast and school will start soon. And like a good boy, Daho instantly runs to go get the missing link without any hesitation, while both girls are left behind in awe of his energy. Nonetheless, our boy quickly makes it up a flight of stairs and calls for Suwa to come out, but he hears no response, so he starts knocking on her door. Eventually, he decides to open the door like a true Chad without her permission, only to find Suwa still fast asleep, but for some reason, she has an invisibility potion equipped on some of her armor. As such, our boy swiftly looks away and acts like he saw literally nothing, so he begins to cough to try and get her attention as breakfast is ready to get devoured. However, she declines by saying she isn't hungry, so she turns around and covers up whilst telling Daho to never barge into her room just like that again. We then discover that Daho has an absolute hard time with Suwa all the time, so his relationship is the exact opposite compared to Mia. Regardless, our boy comes back down and tells the goddess mommy that Suwa ain't feeling breakfast today, causing the mom to get a little bit worried for her, probably because she's worried that Suwa caught the morning sickness bug. Luckily, the old man interrupts her and tells her not to worry, since he's looking a bit frustrated as he wants to eat his double quarter pounder with cheese fish fillet already. With the old man now laying down the law as it's time for him to gain a couple more pounds, everyone sits down to eat, but Mia looking a little sus by putting her hair behind her ears right beside Daho. Shortly after eating, Daho meets up with his friend named Gobon, but bro is looking like he's a side character from Goblin Slayer, so we all know things are actually about to get real. After Gobon looks around to make sure no one is nearby to hear him, he slowly leans forward and whispers by asking if our boy has ever seen a girl's sacred undies. Now ganked by his supreme sussy beka question, Daho replies by asking why would he ever ask such a thing. So Gobong pipes up and tells our boy that he has sisters too, so clearly he must have seen some legendary fishnets before. But then right before Daho could muster up an answer to his entrance exam question, Gobong leans forward again with a massive smirk while telling our boy that he has something nice to show him today. Mere seconds later, the dude actually whipped out a blue pair of you-know-what, happily revealing the secret that he stole it from his own sister, causing our boy to be absolutely dumbfounded that his friend is such a sussy baka. Suddenly, the turntables turn as Daho starts to get flustered as well, so he starts to join the Supreme Sussy Gang as Gobong allows him to feel the legendary treasure. In the end, it's revealed that Gobong is actually such a nice guy, even though he's really weird, since he ends up giving away his sister's prize belonging to his own friend, and Daho even accepts it because Gobong claims it's a gift for always being nice to him. You know what, this dude is actually an amazing friend, because if you think about it, no one has ever handed me their sister's prized belongings. Now fast forward back home where we find Daho laying on his bed, unable to sleep since the sussy within him has been awakened due to the very nice guy named Gobong. Uncharacteristically for our boy, he ends up getting up in the middle of the night and proceeds to walk to his nearby drawers, where he starts looking for something mysterious. Upon closer look, it's revealed that all this time he was searching for Gobong's sister's dragon plate skirt, so he whips it out after finding it and starts looking at it as if it was a gift from an angel. This causes his heart to start beating faster than ever before, as it looks like it's getting corrupted by the presence of mythical undie for the first time ever, so it hints to us that this dude's experience only goes as far as dating sim games. Regardless, he ends up feeling thirsty out of nowhere, so Daho decides to go to the kitchen and grab some water with his nice guy reward still in his hand. Shortly after making it to the kitchen, he begins to smash down glass of water after glass of water, but then he hears a random sound echo from the hallway. Initially, he thought he was just a little bit sleepy, but the weird sound kept persisting through the walls, so he knows he isn't going crazy. Eventually, using his mega brain, he's actually able to pinpoint the sound coming from the mom's room, So he decides to go check on her just in case something bad might be happening. As our boy ventured closer to the epicenter of what sounds like some repeated banging against a wall, Daho transforms into a ninja by going on his tiptoes and hugging the wall behind him. But he notices the door is open. With his curiosity still getting the better of him, he continues on forward by crawling as close as he could to slowly peek in, and success. He makes it without anyone noticing. However, our boy is now able to see clear as day to what's happening, where it's revealed that Mr. and Mrs. Shah are busy doing some rice cake smashing while everyone else is asleep. But then, the first thing out of Daho's mouth is, "What the heck is that?" Apparently, Bro is somehow 20 years old and he still has no idea what doing the Skrillex Bangarang means, as he's too innocent, and his mental capacity is not up to par compared to his peers like Chad Gobon. Anyways, our boy continues to watch while looking on astonished, as he's never seen such a thing in real life or on the internet, but the dad continues his siege into the walls of Yume. 30 minutes then pass while they still have no idea Daho is watching everything unfold, but it dawns on our boy that his heartbeat is beating so fast he thinks it might actually explode, but he doesn't move or do anything as he's busy staring. Eventually, our boy's eyes start to look like his soul has been taken over as he watched Mr. Che use his battering ram to relentlessly destroy the front gates of Yune. At the same time, he starts feeling something weird around his banana tree, so breaks his gaze only to find something is making his plantation glow blue like the sky. After further investigation, he wonders why his Happy Meal has transformed into a full adult meal, as he's never seen it transform before, but he decides it's just a normal thing and continues on watching like it's a K-drama. Unfortunately, his heartbeat was too much for him to handle, so our boy decides to leave and head back to his room, realizing he shouldn't be staring at all. Now the crazy part is our bro didn't get caught after an hour, so you know, with some intense rice cake destroying going on. Anyways, after jumping on the bed, absolutely bewildered, our boy starts to scratch his head, wondering what kind of game they were playing, since it looked kind of fun. Eventually, he's able to piece things together and starts wondering if that's what the bad kids in school talk about all the time, so at least he's heard of rice cake smashing before. Regardless, he decides there's no point in wondering right now, since he can just ask the two lovebirds in the morning, so our boy finally goes to sleep. However, upon waking up in the morning and after dreaming about girls again, Daho discovers a massive bulge of the Titanic protruding from his ship. After taking a closing look inside his ship called the Virgin Shiplines, he learns that he accidentally exploded again, so he needs to hurry up and get to the laundry basket before anyone sees him. Now imagine being a 20-year-old and still not doing your own laundry, since that's basically our boy Daho. But then again, I shouldn't expect much, as this dude doesn't even know what rice cake smashing is. Elsewhere, Mia gangs her own mom after coming down the stairs, where she claims she could not help herself but smack and shake the fresh buns of her own mom, but that's pretty normal. Mere seconds later, Daho appears already looking flustered and out of his usual self. But the first thing he asks is, where's the big daddy? Oh. He then finds out that the dad is missing, as he left early for a business trip, so lucky for our boy, it won't be that awkward with only Yune around. After breakfast, Daho decides not to go through with his plan of asking Yune what they were doing last night, but instead, Yune finds out what happened to our boy while he was sleeping. She even goes as far as using her primal instincts to make sure what she's smelling and seeing is correct, and indeed they were. It is confirmed as Daho's special water. As such, Yune washes up all the laundry, but it dawns on her that she needs to teach Daho how to become a true man, as no one got to tell him what to do since he's an orphan. Originally, Yune was planning to get a friend to teach him, but since his only friend is Gobon, she decides she will instead go next. Speaking of Gobon, Bro is such a savage, as he asks our boy if he needs a new pretty pair, since he tells Daho he can get him a new pair anytime he wants, as he always steals them. However, Daho continues on the topic and randomly asks if Gobong knows what rice cake smashing is, causing Gobong to get absolutely flustered to the point he actually yells out the sussy word out loud. Unfortunately, Gobong is also aloof to this type of Chad gameplay, so the only thing he says is that's what the bad kids do. But since they aren't bad kids at all, Gobong tells him they shouldn't ever do such a thing. As such, he heads back home after spending the rest of the day with his special friend, but he beelines straight to his room. Suddenly, his door slowly opens and out comes Miss Yuna, looking like some prime piece of juicy Jollibee chicken ready to be served. But she brings along with her some cut-up pieces of apples. With the dad not home, she quickly closes the door behind her and tells our boy that it's time for them to have a chat together. So she goes and sits down on his bed beside him. With the atmosphere filled with awkwardness, Yumne decides to make it even more awkward, as the first thing she asks Daho is if Bro has ever exploded his own banana tree before. Now Yune questioning her stepson's sussy things isn't what caught me off guard. Instead, it's the fact that Daho blindsides me by claiming he has no idea what blowing up your machine is. Regardless, with Davo having zero clue on how to clear his own banana seeds himself, Yuna being a nice mom says she'll go ahead and teach him how to do it as Gobong is no help, and the dad isn't here to help. As such, Yuna tells our boy that all adults must do it or else their laundry will get stinky. So Daeho decides to accept the offer after finding out Mr. Cha does it as well. So to start off the lesson, she tells our boy to go ahead and think about any girls he likes or is super fond of. However, the catch is that the girl he's super fond of right now is the one sitting right beside him. Nevertheless, she continues the lesson by charging forward and tells Daeho the leg armor must be disarmed fully, and upon finding his hidden weapon, Yuna realizes that bro has been hiding Little Italy all along. But since it's Mother's Day and she's the best mom ever, she tells herself that no behemoth can stop her from teaching her beloved stepson what to do, so she starts attacking like a hyena looking for some food. Luckily for our boy, her relentless attacks featuring her hands were not sufficient enough to simmer down the behemoth before her. So she decides to use backup plan number 2 to show him how it's done. Now clearly you can't drink your own Slurpee, as it's literally impossible unless you're actually Elastic Man, so she decides to hire the mouth of Yune to do the trick. This time, with the help of the mercenary called the Mouth, she's able to succeed in relieving the banana tree plantation, so our boy will no longer have a problem with his laundry.